Hello, everyone. I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Boom Shikha, and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm really grateful that you're listening, subscribing, and commenting. I really appreciate your support. And I know I'm not posting as often as I did before, but I'm just trying to make sure that I post content that people actually want to listen to rather than just posting for the sake of posting. So I hope that's okay with you all. Obviously, please send me any questions or comments you have, videos that you want me to do. In this one, I wanted to speak to you about ADHD fixations. This is something that I've been noticing quite a bit about myself recently. And in one way, it's actually a good thing, obviously. You know, like if you are obsessed with a good thing, then it actually works out really well. Like, for example, I love learning about investments and stocks and making money in that regard. And so I have an obsession with that. I'm constantly reading about it. My sister is constantly getting messages from me about a different stock that I read about or something that's happening in the market that's really fascinating me. And so that's a good obsession for me, I think, because I learn about how to make money and then I use my money in order to make more money and I use compound interest and all that. So that's a great thing. Good obsession. Awesome. Be fixated on that. Good for you. But sometimes I do notice that I get fixated on the randomest of things and I don't know if it's the ADHD thing. I'm guessing it is. It might be just the fact that, you know, once we get stuck on a certain way of doing things, we kind of get blindsided about everything else. It literally like nothing else exists except for that particular pathway. And maybe that pathway works for a little bit, right? You know, you can go on that pathway for a bit, maybe a year, 2 years, maybe 5 years. But eventually that pathway runs out and you have to find a different way of doing things. But because we're so fixated, you know, we just don't see anything else. Now, in certain ways, as I said, is okay. You know, it's good to be like that. In certain ways, it's not okay to be like that. I do notice that once I kind of have this idea in my head that I get fixated on, I'm literally fixated on it for hours on end. Sometimes days, weeks, but mostly a lot of times hours. For example, I'll give you really easy examples that you can follow. I'll see something that someone else is wearing, like a bag that I really like, or a top, mostly not clothing, but a bag, or some electronic item that I'm like, ooh, that's really, really cool. I want that. Like, for example, this lavalier mic that I use in order to do my videos, or something like that. You know, I'll see something that I'm like, oh, this looks amazing. I really want that. I'm giving you a shopping example because that's the easiest way to kind of relate to this. And so, you know, I'll see that and then I will get fixated on it for a long time. So it'll be easy for me if I can find it on, you know, on a website and I can buy it right away. Perfect, great. I got it. I don't have to be fixated on it. It's not easy in a lot of cases when I can't find it. And, you know, I've just seen it passing by. For example, I see someone wearing a jacket that I really like on a motorbike in the traffic far away from me. I just got a glimpse of it and I'm like, oh, that looks really nice. The only thing I know about it is the color. I don't know anything else about it. And so I go online and I'm searching for it, right? Now, because I get fixated on something like this, I think it's a way for my brain to entertain itself, for my brain to get that endorphin rush, for my brain to not be bored, right? So like we're constantly using these things, these tasks, these fixations, so we don't get bored because our brains move so fast and they constantly need stimulation, right? So this is one way I stimulate myself in my brain. Yeah, like I make sure that I have things to like focus on, fixate on. And so I find I'm looking online. I'm like ombre jacket or like, you know, pink jacket with red trimmings, whatever it might be. I'm just making up stuff here, but you know, I'll kind of like start searching for it online, and I'll search on Tokopedia, which is kind of like a Amazon here, or Lazada, which is another Amazon style online store. And you know, I'll start searching and I'll spend 2-3 hours on just literally there, search, not doing anything else, not drinking water, not going to pee, not doing anything else, and then realizing after 3 or 4 hours suddenly that I wake up and I realize, shoot, I've been doing this for the last 2-3 hours, have found it or haven't found it, whatever, either way, I need to stop, right? And this fixation is what like kind of, I find that every single day, either I find a new fixation or I will have something else that I'm kind of working towards. So for example, today, my lease on the place that I'm in right now, my room that I'm in, is going to end in January. And so I need to find another place. And so yesterday and today, literally 2, 3, 4 hours, I'm on Google Maps, I'm on like websites, I'm online searching for a place that would suit my needs and is close enough to all the different things that I need to do, so I can find something and I can book it, because it's really busy in Bali right now and lots of people coming in and out and very hard to find a place. Usually everything's booked up, especially places that I want to live in, because I have a little bit of a middle standard. I'm not looking for the really high-end places, but I'm also not looking for the really low-end places either. So like that middle ground is always booked up, right? Thankfully I found something, so I'm booking it today, but I'm putting a down payment and booking it. But as I said, yesterday, today, a couple of days ago as well, like for the last week since I knew that this lease was ending, I've been searching and searching and searching. And it's kind of interesting because I'm kind of learning more about the neighborhood. I'm learning more about Bali, about the different places that are available. So it's fascinating to me. It's interesting. And because of that, my fixation is satisfied. My brain is satisfied. I feel good, doing these fixation things. Sometimes I don't feel good doing them, because sometimes it's a fixation that brings me down. It makes me upset, makes me sad. Maybe it could be a fixation regarding something that makes me feel bad about myself. Perhaps that's why I don't do social media fixations anymore, because every single time I go on social media, Instagram, whatever it might be, there's a comparison thing going on over there, right? You compare yourself and you're like, look at their life, look at their body, look at their clothes, look at the constantly comparison. And in a lot of cases, for me, I come out looking poorer or less fashionable or bigger or whatever it might be, right? And so like you look at that situation, you get fixated in a negative way, right? So like literally I don't go on Instagram anymore, I don't go on Facebook anymore, I don't go on Pinterest, I don't go on TikTok anymore, I don't do any of that, because I don't want that comparison and I don't want to feel bad about myself, because I can very easily, my mind is very good at this, it can get easily fixated on something, and it's good, I'd rather get fixated on something good. So whenever I'm trying to get fixated on something, I'm trying to get fixated on reading. I have lots of books that I'm reading right now, and fixated on finding new things to do with my body. Like I'm finding new dance classes, or I'm looking for new yoga studios that I could kind of go to, things like that. So I'm always trying to make sure, and this is the reason I did this video, is because it's okay and good and well and fine to have these fixations, these obsessions. Really, really good. Don't think of it as a negative, but you have to kind of direct them a little bit. You can't let them run helter-skelter all over the place, because that is just going to result in damnation or doom. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to make sure that you kind of guide it. Think of it as a child. It is a baby. It is very smart, but it needs to be guided in the right direction. Otherwise, it's going to eat sugar all day long and do stupid things, right? And that's what I would do. Like, if I did not direct my brain, my fixations, my obsessions in the right direction. And I'm not saying I can do that all the time, but 90% of the time I'm able to do that, which is great, because I've learned to do that. If I can do that, then I'll make sure that I'm kind of positively using this trait of mine, this ADHD trait, or whatever trait it is related to. I'm pretty sure it's ADHD related, or autism related, but I like to use this trait to the goodness of me, to my life, to my positivity, to optimizing my life rather than degrading it. In the past, I didn't do that, obviously. In the past, I did have obsessions, and I went through a lot of pain and hurt and suffering because of those obsessions, because they were not good obsessions, and I kind of got obsessed or fixated on things in the wrong manner. One of the things I did a lot in the past was get fixated on relationships. So I'd get fixated on a particular man, and I would literally spend all my time thinking about him, making sure that I research about him, basically not stalking him, but like learning more about him, researching online or with friends. And then that kind of obsession resulted in me losing myself, right? And so I'm very careful not to do that anymore. Another obsession or fixation that I had in the past that I really hated, that really got me into a negative state, was getting fixated on the food that I'm eating and being very strict with my food, my diet, and exercise. I was very strict with myself in that regard, in a negative way, not in a good way. I didn't feel good. I wasn't happy while I was doing it. I was doing it because it was a way of controlling myself and controlling the world. And so these are a couple examples in which like the negativity of the fixation and obsession arises rather than the positivity of it. So it is a good thing as long as you can control it and direct it in the right direction, as I said. But as soon as you notice yourself kind of getting into the state of fixation, of obsession, of just like one-minded focus that you can't see anything else, it is really, really good to kind of pull yourself back a little bit. Sometimes you can do that, sometimes you can't. The more you practice, the more you'll be able to do it, for sure. But, pull yourself back, relax a little bit, focus on what you're trying to do. If you're okay with being fixated on this and it's a positive thing, keep on going. It's totally fine. Sometimes I don't let myself go. I'll just keep on being fixated on something if it's fun and I'm having a blast with it. I'll be reading a book that I'm like, ooh, I love this, and I'm gonna keep on reading it forever and ever. Or I'm watching a show that I really like. So it's okay to have those fixations. But pull yourself back, realize, okay, is this good? Am I having fun? Yeah, good. All right, good. Keep on going. And then pull yourself back, realize, okay, am I still having fun? Yes. Okay, keep on going. But if you're not, if you stop having fun, if you notice that you're degrading yourself, if you are not in the right state of mind, if you're getting into a negative state, then pull yourself back and say, okay, no, you need to change your state a little bit. Go for a walk, watch something else, call someone, message someone, do something else to change your mind, to change your state, to stop that fixation in its tracks. Give it a full stop and then move on to do something else. As I said, as you practice this more and more, it'll get easier. I'm not saying that you're going to be able to do it right away, but it is important to realize that this is something you need to do. It is very, very important. All right. I hope this makes sense. Again, thank you so much for listening, for watching, for subscribing, and for commenting. And if you have questions, if you want me to do certain videos, obviously message me, comment below. And again, thank you, and I shall see you next time around. Bye for now.